Hello there, and welcome to part 2 of the third season at Williams. We have just finished our first race in Bahrain, and me being a little bit click happy, went a little bit too quickly through the first couple of pages. So Piastri won. He also got an extra point from having pole position. We qualified 1-2, Doohan in second. Doohan came in second and also secured fastest lap, so he gets 19 points for that. Leclerc in third. Verstappen, Paris 4-5, the Mercedes is 6-7, Gasly in 8th, Norris in 9th, Haas in 10th. So Sainz had an accident that knocked him down a bit. Bottas almost made it into points. So from that perspective, it might actually be an interesting season to watch. And in the constructors here, we have twice as many points as Red Bull. So that is good. Now, again, this is the second part. So I do hope that you have enjoyed the series so far. If you have, please subscribe and like the video. It helps me out tremendously. Thank you in advance. And with that little plug, we're going to continue now. So we're going to be able to manufacture side pods. That's really all we'll have time for before we end up at the next Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia, which will happen pretty quickly. And yeah, I think we're already ready. Now, we're going to go for performance incentives here. Both drives in Q3 and Q2. That should be self-explanatory at this point. In terms of fastest lap, should be doable. The rest is good. And I also forgot to say, but last race we actually ended up getting a development point for Piastri, which we put in control. And the same for Doohan, which we put in braking. So we're good there. I was just, again, a little bit too click happy. But I'll get the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix done. And we'll see where we stand after that. Just got through the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and as you can see, another one too. About a minute down to third place, which is very good. Now, this result is basically an inversion from the first race. First race, Piastri won, Doohan second, but Doohan was 0.175-ish, I think, off Piastri. So, if this was based on time, after 2 races, Piastri would actually be ahead of Doohan by 0.025. So they're doing a good job together. We were the only one who pulled off the 2-stopper. We still had a minute, so our car certainly is dominant at this starting stage. Schumacher had actually an accident, so I'm impressed that he still got through that one on 1-stop. He did pit pretty early. Now, in terms of driver championship, our drivers both have the same points. I guess Piastri is leading on that 0.025. And yeah. We are probably going to set a point record this season that's going to be hard to beat, I feel like. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be chill. We can do a few tests on our own. I forgot about Porsche again. It happens a lot. I apologize. Made an extra 800,000 in incentives, which is also very good. 5.5 million from the race. And again, I'm feeling that our economic problems have just become a non-concern, if you will. So front wing has been completed. We will be manufacturing them for the Austrian Grand Prix. Let's get 6 of them going. We'll have 3 of them for the race. Hopefully we don't have any accidents, but that's kind of hard to avoid at times. The board is very happy with our results, which is good. In terms of what we want to develop, I'm actually a bit uncertain. Now, if we develop an underfloor, we would be hard-pressed. We actually wouldn't be able to make one, I think, that is better than what we currently have. So, that is a concern. Like, this, if we made... This is the underfloor we could make without CFD hours. And it will not be an improvement at all. As you can see, we would gain expertise, of course. It wouldn't be worth it. We'll lose stats. So, yeah, we're not making another underfloor. We're going to need CFD if we want to do that. Sorry, aerodynamic hours, more like it. So, that means we can either make a new front wing, or we can make, say, a chassis, for instance. Which we could. There's nothing really stopping us. It would give us a bit more expertise, as you can see. So, I think this season is basically just going to be, again, signing and trying to maximize expertise the best way we can. Now, I see that I have forgotten to start another project by the looks of things. We have another design project here. And I think that's just going to go into the side pods because the underfloor just isn't worth it. We can't really do anything with that, even if we make one. So we're going to put it into the Y. Let's put U5 there. Gonna put that into the side pods. It's not a massive upgrade, but it's a small one. And again, it's the expertise at this point that we're really after, more so than anything else. Let's see, which project doesn't have an extra engineer? It's the suspension. We're gonna put the 5th engineer back. And, well, we're good on that. So what I am assuming happening here is I forgot to start a new project once we did the underfloor, the previous one. And that's on me. So we basically wasted about a week in development, but let's be perfectly honest here. We'll go to the Australian Grand Prix here, and then we'll have a look at the current car and see what we feel like. So we're currently low stock on the underfloor because we emergencyed them. So let's make 2 more. I do enjoy the fact that it gives you warnings about that. I don't think we had any damage. Side pods have been manufactured. I think they're already on the car, so no biggie there. Yeah, we look to be good here. It's just the front wings we need to manufacture, and we have another design complete. Scouting department completed, suspension completed. In general, that's good. Now, in terms of our car now, we are undisputed first in everything, except cooling. As you can see, things are looking good. We did have that. There we go. I needed to just go a little bit upwards. Scouting department has been completed. Let's go ahead and visit. And we are going to upgrade it once more, just to see if it gives any extra effects. Again, this is going to be extra money spent yearly on, you know, scouting facility that we probably won't use, but I think it's fine to just upgrade it to C. Now, with that said, we did have that suspension design, and I'm not going to rush it for the Australian Grand Prix. We already have the best car, so we can just build parts normally from now. In terms of the front wing, we actually have them made. So as you can see, the front wing here is not a huge upgrade, but it's a decent upgrade. So let's just get that on there. And let us see the new development project. Front wing. Can we get a wing that is actually an upgrade? Or do we require testing hours to make that work? We can get a wing that's a minor upgrade. And it would actually give us some expertise boost. Again, these two go up to a maximum 2.00. This to 1.00. That would still give us a decent expertise boost, all things considered. I am wondering if we want to try and bump the expertise in brake cooling, just to get it a little bit better. But what I'm thinking here is, when is the next period? In 27 days. I'm uncertain if making a front wing is the right way to do, right thing to do. So honestly, for now, let's just make another suspension set. We have reached a point where I feel like having 4 projects might just be one too many. Like having 3 was more than enough to some degree, because in terms of cost cap already, we have spent 38 million on the car. Now, if we start doing front wings and rear wings and underfloors on the regular, this is going to go up really, really quickly. So it's definitely looking interesting, that's for sure. But 4 slots might just be a little bit too much when you have entered the point that we have. So with that in mind, let's quickly set up performance targets. And let's get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. And we're going to say both drivers in top 3. Honestly, we could just go top 2, but top 3 is... Let's just go top 2. It's fine. And since they're our drivers, both our drivers' home Grand Prix, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Doohan or Piastri? That's going to be an interesting one. Let's see which one of them comes out on top. A dominating performance in Australia. As you can see, Piastri, Doohan 1-2. Piastri had fastest lap both in qualifying Well, he qualified P1. It's a better way of saying that. So he also passed lap during the race, which means he gets 2 extra points, which is why he has 27. Hamilton managed to get up to 3rd, which is impressive. Ferrari's 4-5, Red Bull 6-7, and then we have Gasly 8, McLaren Alpine. So pretty good showing from all of them, all things considered. Gasly gains a little bit of a lead now in the Drivers' Championship. Constructors, no real changes. Ferrari overtaking Red Bull though. So we'll have to see here if Hamilton's 3rd is an indication that Mercedes might get into this, especially considering Russell had a bad day and fell down to 11th. So we'll have to see how things work out there. We had our drivers do the DRS train again, so they actually leveled up quite nicely. I once again completely forgot about Porsche, and we made almost 800,000 extra in race incentives, which is good. Underfloor has been manufactured, which is very good. Development points for both of our drivers. Again, we do want to get some consistency into them, but before that we want pace, which will be the focus here. We have received our first regulation mode for minor technical changes. We can go for minimal, which hits everything by 5%. Or we could go for moderate, which hits everything for 10%. Now, honestly, either or is fine, but we'll go for minimal because we are good right now. So there's no need for us to go super aggressive there. Again, we want to put as many points as we can into the underfloor because it's the one that has the highest scaling in terms of percentage attributes. And after that, I believe it's the rear wing and then front wing. So it's something to keep in mind when you level up your staff. I didn't actually consider it before this, so keep that in mind. Let us continue here forwards and see what the regulation mode actually ends up changing. If it becomes positive for us or negative, we don't know yet. I'll have to have a look. We have more development points. Again, I don't know what is the most efficient here. In general, if you need more steering, put points into airflow. If you want more speed, put things into, you know, drag reduction. I think we'll just go drag reduction for now. It should be a decent choice. We have a couple more race engineer points as well. We'll just put them into pit crew management, as we do. And what is the vote? We got minor changes. Ferrari, Alpine, and Alfa Romeo voted against. Rest voted for. So we'll lose 5% in everything. So that's going to be a bit interesting to watch. Porsche has now caught up with his other stats in terms of pace. Let's see if it can actually catch up to Doohan. It might actually happen. Car part research has been unlocked. Now, if our car continues to be as good as it is, we are going to start focusing a bit more on research. But we'll have to consider how we do things there. Both drivers in Q2. Again, we'll just go for 1-2 in qualifying. We had a strong showing so far this season. Finish position, one driver in the top 2. Again, we'll probably have some accidents if I overextend there. But that's it. We'll be going to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And hopefully we'll get a good result there. Emilia Romagna Grand Prix just finished. And as expected, we came out on top. A minute down to 3rd. Still a pretty dominating performance, but we're going to have to give them time to catch up, I guess. Pole position, fastest lap, everything good. The drivers are 2 points away from each other, which is also nice. In terms of constructors, 9 points between 2nd and 4th, so we're going to have an interesting fight here. And if everything goes well during the races, there's basically just 2 other points positions to fight for the rest of the teams. So the midfield fight could get interesting, the fight for 2nd and 3rd could get interesting, but for us, we're just going to have a pretty chill season here, all things considered. But our drivers leveled up, Porsche has been forgotten. I really need to remember that he exists. I am doing very bad there. Extra payout due to qualifying position streak, very good. Gained us an extra 1.1 million, but we get an extra 1.8 from incentives. So again, economically, we're doing overwhelmingly good. And our chassis has also finished designing, so we'll get the manufacturing done there. We'll probably just have 1 chassis for the next Grand Prix because we don't really need to rush them. So yeah, takes 8 days. We'll have 1 for Miami and 1 for the one after. The suspensions have finished manufacturing, very good. And in general, we don't really have much to do. So I'm thinking that we'll do a little bit of focus here on research. We have already figured out that we're going to have minor technical changes next season. And we could start with doing research on the underfloor. So the research benefit is purely an addition to your car part expertise. And what we'll be doing this season is going a little bit more in depth and seeing how this car part expertise works. I'll be taking a bit more notes here at the end of the season, how our research, well, what our current expertise is and how the research got applied to it. So I think it's just a flat, like this would gain us an extra %, but we'll have a look after the season. So with that in mind, we will be doing, again, just research, go back, see how, as you can see, the focus does give us more, which is the point, I guess. But we are definitely going to have to do at least 2 underfloors to catch up that 5%. And here's the catch. Any extra development we do is also going to count in that 5%. So I think just doing research will be good. We'll do research until we feel like the other teams have caught up to us. And we'll see just how much of an effect that will have next season. So we're basically starting research now after round 4. And we'll have 17 races worth of research ahead of us. Well, basically, in terms of the calendar, we started research at the end of April. We will have 8 months of research this season, so that could definitely become very interesting. We have a new aerodynamic testing period. I should have put that into the underfloor research, to be honest, but that's fine. Weather center in poor condition. A little costly to refurbish, but we will. And while we're at refurbishing, let's get the wind tunnel upgraded to its final level, which will cost us a lot of extra monthly upkeep. This is basically an extra 7 million a season, so well, it's more than that. It's way more. We're basically going to be spending 20 million on wind tunnel, so let's get that to maximum, I guess. And I guess we could potentially start considering also upgrading the other ones a little bit, see what they do. If we get all the facilities to maximum, that would also be a fun thing to just do, really. Suspension has been finished on the research. We're just going to make them normally. We don't need to rush any parts. We're good. And the new ATR period has begun. So with that, we can actually go ahead and start another research project. We can't really do anything good. Rear wing is already being decided. We could do front wing, which we might just do, in all honesty. I don't think we'll put ATR into it. We'll save this period for rear wing or what's it called? Underfloor? We probably, well, rear wing only, really. We should get that rear wing done. I should actually check, but for now this looks good. We are not going to focus brake cooling. Again, I still don't feel like it's worth it. But a couple of research projects should get us ahead here on the part reduction, which is good. Let's put 5 engineers on the job. And let's have a quick look at the current projects here. So yeah, rear wing is done in 5 days, side pods in 3. So we're good. We're really good on that one. Let's have a quick look here on the warehouse. Do we have anything that's done? We have the chassis. Let's put it on Doohan's car for once. Doohan will be given advantage in this next race. And other than that, it looks like things are good. We have completely forgotten to put on the upgraded suspension though. So let's get that done. We've actually started making a new suspension before we even use this one, which is a shame. In terms of upgrade, it's actually a decent one, as you can see. Well, I say decent. It's a minor one, but it's still good for suspension. So there we are. Now, we have points here. Again, we're going to get Piastri's consistency a bit up. We're still going to work on Doohan's race pace until we're at 90. And the other thing that I want to try and test this season is to see if we maybe can, either this season or next season, push some of these stats to 100. I believe braking is one of the stats that you can boost through your setups. And I'm wondering, if we get his braking to 100, can we make him 103 braking through practice? We'll have to see. That's basically what I also want to test this season. Side pod design has been finished, which is pretty good. Board has high confidence. Very positive result, I would hope so. And in terms of car development, we're good. Now, as you can see, we're currently second because we're looking at car 1 and we gave Doohan the upgrade. So that's an interesting consideration, but we are basically first, so no big worries there. Hospitality area in poor condition. Again, I do want to upgrade everything to 4 at least so we can see what things do, so I guess we are going to spend money on just upgrading it. And we're going to upgrade the boardroom too here now. It has taken that much of a beating. I just want to see what the different facilities do. Car development facilities do one upgrade. I think we'll wait a little bit. We still have a part to design. And I haven't actually manufactured the side pods yet, so let's get that done. And then we will decide on the next research part, which will be, I think, suspension. Again, we'll just try and balance it. We will not want to use aerodynamic testing. I'm working on autopilot here. But if we have a look here, just, again, maximize everything, as we usually do. It is just the most effective way right now. It needs a bit of balancing, but should still be okay. So we're gaining some drag reduction here. We'll probably have to do a couple of iterations to catch up, because, as you can see, we're actually quite low on the expertise chart here compared to underfloor, but we still need to do like 2 or 3 iterations to cancel this out. Now, here's an interesting thing. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but expertise goes up to 100%. So, as you can see, we're currently 65, but it's probably a bit harder to see what is our expertise on low and medium speed in terms of this number right here. So this number right here goes up to 2.0. So that means that 1.33 would be around 66.5%, if I'm not completely mistaken, of expertise. And this number here is even easier because this one goes up to just a blank 1. So this would translate to 68%. So these 3 numbers are a bit special, but once you get it, it's quite easy to understand. Again, we don't care too much about brakes. We might have to do an upgrade where we just focus on brakes, because we could do this, for instance. Say we put everything to minimum except for the brakes, because that's also something you could do. If you want to boost expertise in a certain area, you could do it like this. This would give us a 7% research benefit in brakes. It would give us barely any benefit in anything else though. But if we wanted to, say, catch up on the brake cooling for next year, we could do that by, again, just slapping in some brake cooling here. And of course, if we upgrade the suspension stem too, it'll add some more flat braking. But for now, we will not be doing that. We will focus on something else. So again, we could also do the same with high speed. This would translate to 3%. And again, if you have a certain piece you want to upgrade, it is viable to do so by just focusing on certain things. So again, but we are perfectly happy by just going kind of balance, boosting every stat by 1.5%, except for brake cooling. Again, this has so low expertise to begin with that if we really wanted to, we could truly just propel that into the stratosphere. So we might do that later, to be honest. We'll have to see. Now we'll get that done. We'll set up performance targets for the next race here. And both drives into Q3, no problem. One driver, both drivers in top 2. And finish position, one driver, top 2. And with that, I think we're good. The qualifying position, once both drivers in top 4 over 4 races, should be possible. No worries, get 2 million there. So with that, we'll go to the Miami Grand Prix. The Miami Grand Prix was an interesting one for sure. We're missing a man from the timesheet, as you can see. Doohan won. The race finished under safety car due to Piastri going for some bowling. As you can see, finished last, didn't get his point for the fastest lap, but luckily he didn't actually hit anyone. He scooted past a couple of cars, so it was very close, but he absolutely destroyed his wing and chassis, and he actually destroyed another wing earlier. He had a total of 3 crashes this session. He ruined one front wing, he minor damaged one, before completely deleting it later on. So he had an eventful race. Hamilton second, Ferrari third and fourth. Good race from them. Stroll with a surprising 5th here. Norris with a 6th. Russell with 7. Ricciardo with an 8th. And as you can see, the Red Bulls had a very bad day on the job. So pretty good all things considered with this. Doohan now has a significant lead of Piastri. that could definitely get interesting down the line. And constructors is also looking kind of interesting. Ferrari, Mercedes both to overtake Red Bull, kind of leaving them behind a bit, but we'll have to see how this changes. McLaren, AlphaTauri, Alpine, 1 point between them, so that could also get interesting. Romeo 3 points behind, so looks like we're going to have some interesting scraps here. Now with that, Doohan did get way more points than Piastri. Porsche has been forgotten again. I need to remember he exists. It's a bad habit. But even with the crash, we got a decent amount of money from performance guarantees. We'll have to have a look, though, just how badly he ruined his engine and gearbox. I think it's a little bit, not super ruined, but slightly ruined, so I think we'll be good. Rear wing has been completed, but we don't have manufacturer slots, so we'll have to wait for making one. And in general, it was a good race, even though one of our drivers, you know, crashed out. So let's see here. Do we have any manufacturing that will be done soon? So Piastri has low morale. Okay, so he crashed out during a race, and now he does not want to work for us anymore. That screams angsty teenager to me, but okay. So are we really lacking that many? I actually forgot to start a research too. I'm a proper dum-dum. We'll put the testing hours into the rear wing, as we said we would. And the manufacturing thing actually ended up distracting me, so I apologize. So let's see here. We're going to go everything as we usually do. It's still probably the most effective way of doing things, even after the patch a few days ago. And in general, as you can see here, do this twice and we'll have a good car. So as you can see, the ATR or aerodynamic testing hours go straight into your expertise, which can give you some significant boosts if you consider it. So definitely worth investing. Now if we say lower the DRS delta, we are going to lose a little bit of speed. But as you can see, we're going to gain some other things, and we're going to gain more of it. So we could do that, but I think for rear wing everything is important, so we'll just leave things as it be. We'll go 5 days. So 5 engineers as we usually do. In terms of manufacturing here, we'll have to wait for a slot. It's just how things are. We are making new chassis anyway, so we don't need that. But we don't need to rush manufacturing. We are in a good position with our car. Next race, let's set up for everything. 2 drivers in top 2. Finish position streak, 1 driver in the top for 5 races should be okay. We could go 2, but 1 is just safer. Well, because again, it's just 1 accident, and then you fail, and you cost yourself money instead of making it. So over the course of the season, it's again random, so you don't want to put yourself in a negative position from the get-go. Now with that in mind, I think we have everything ready for the Spanish Grand Prix, so we'll get that done quick, and we'll see where we stand after. Just finished the Spanish Grand Prix. As you can see, another 1-2. Piastri here managed to once again wreck his car. Touched the wall, destroyed the front wing, minor damage to the chassis. But it hurt his race a lot. We also had a couple of DNFs from Bottas and Magnussen, which resulted in safety cars, helping Piastri back in the race, making it a little less interesting than it might have been. It seems like Mercedes is starting to get a little bit of an advantage over Red Bull and Ferrari, so that's going to be more interesting towards the end of the race. And Vettel here, actually doing very, very well in his AlphaTauri, gaining points for them. As for drivers, Doohan is getting ahead of Piastri. Hamilton is taking a bit more firm grip on 3rd. And in general, it's going to be very interesting, I think, to see how these fights develop. Mercedes up in 2nd now. And yeah, I'm looking forward to how this season actually goes for the other teams. We're more than a spectator right now, but it's enjoyable. And I, for once, did not forget that Porsche existed. So that is very good. Gained a little bit of money from performance incentives here, about 800,000, which is, again, a significant amount of money, but little compared to what we have been getting. Suspension has been done manufacturing. We'll put some points into accuracy and control. I feel Piastri started doing more accidents once we upgraded his accuracy and control for consistency. Consistent accident, maybe. But he's now up to 80, which is very good. Doohan, we're still going to keep on working on the pace stats. And suspension has been manufactured. Good. And I actually had some parts that we forgot to put into the car before we started the Spanish Grand Prix. So we're actually going to have a quick look at how the car looks right now. So as you can see here, it's actually been majorly upgraded. We're up to 1.907 Gs. And if we compare it to Mercedes, who was second last race, it's a huge upgrade. Like, our car is majorly better. Compared to Ferrari, still better. But Mercedes have been doing a good job, I think. And Red Bull is also still lacking a little bit behind, but they're getting closer. So for sure things are going to get interesting there. And we also need to go to our warehouse here. Chassis. We need more of these. We're going to have to do more once that project is done. And as you can see, we already wrecked 3 of the front wings, so we need to make more. I think we are good on every other part. We made... yes, let's install in car 1. So you can see. So we finally have these for both cars now, which is good. Rear wing, we haven't actually made these yet because we don't have manufacturing capabilities, so our car can even get better. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait for the current manufacturing projects to end, which will be in 4 days. We'll get a slot open for that rear wing. Boardroom has been upgraded. Good. A quick look. It's team attractiveness, basically race confidence gain. The upkeep is very low, actually, so let's just do one more, see if there's a hidden stat or something there. But I don't think so. This game doesn't really do hidden stats, I feel like. Monaco, gonna be potentially an interesting one. Let's go ahead and develop... Sorry, not develop, manufacture that rear wing. And then we'll manufacture the other things we're lacking later on. But for now, we'll get the rear wing done. They'll be there for the next race. It isn't too big of a deal for Monaco, and we already have the best car, so again, we won't really be too concerned. Q2 should be doable. Both drivers, 1-2. Let's go for it. And let's go for fastest lap 2. Now, Monaco is interesting because it's probably the worst place to qualify with the traffic. Like, if you get stuck in traffic, your lap is ruined. So I am considering just doing a manual, well, recording the qualifying. I usually just sim them at this point because it's the same result every time. But we'll see. I might add it as part of the race. We will be quickly doing the qualifying for Monaco. As you can see, we had a very good practice, 100% for both of our drivers. And we'll be doing the qualifying really quick. I'll be ready with the first run. Just a second. So we'll be running Q1 here right away. We're just gonna try and get our cars out as quickly as possible in the hopes of avoiding traffic here now, because traffic could destroy us, and we have avoided traffic. Very, very good. So I'm running in the mode automatic because it's just easy that way, especially for the first run. A very good lap time for Q1. So we'll allow both our drivers to get back in. We'll be using the same softs for a second run if we feel the need. So let's just refuel and see if we do need to. I don't think we will, but I'll be back if we need towards the end. We have elected doing a final run here. Elected against because we have, as you can see, quite the gap here to second place, so we should be okay. Q2 here, same procedure as the last qualifying. We'll be sending our cars out ASAP and see if we can beat the first set of Verstappen. Oh, okay. Doohan's gonna have a horrible first lap here. 3 seconds off. Piastri with even worse time off. So this one was kind of a meh, but we did the first run on the scrub soft from last qualifying run. So we're going to reconfigure here and we're going to do a run towards the end. The other teams are leaving the pits, as you can see here, but I think we're going to wait until like 40, 35 maybe. I think we're good at sending them out now. We're going to do the manual run that I put in the guide. And the reason is simple. You have much more control because you can go faster because you are going balanced to burn a bit more fuel, which will save you time. We now have 1 minute to get from here to the finish line, which shouldn't actually be a problem at all, considering our lap times here are pretty short. And we are actually getting there with way too much time to spare in reality. So attack, push, deploy for both our drivers here. And let's see how this lap ends. And again, we can just go 16 times because we have let go of the reins. We can't really do anything. They'll push what they can. And as you can see, into Q3 with quite a good margin here. Same strategy as last run. Quickly get our cars out for the first run on the scrub soft from previous qualifying. And will we get out ahead of Russell? Nope. He ruins both of our laps. That should be a penalty. But yeah, he absolutely deleted our lap times there. So Monaco can be rough, but in general, if you can get that the last cutoff, you should be okay. We can send our drivers out about 1:30, 1:20 at latest, I think, and we'll still make it. So no concern. Here we are. Time to send out Doohan first, and then we'll send out Piastri 5 seconds later. And again, we're going to take manual control, go balanced, and burn off a little bit of their fuel. I don't get why it takes so long to be able to assume control, but yeah, we're gonna go balanced there. Speed it up a little bit until we get to the end of the lap. We have a 30-second margin. Well, 30 seconds to get there. I think we have about a maybe 5-second-ish margin, but it should be okay. Push, deploy. Same for Doohan. Push, deploy. And we made it. By actually quite a good margin, all things considered. So how did they do on their push laps? Very good. We ended up with, as you can see, fairly consistent times all across the board. Doohan seems to be better here in Monaco, at a bit better times. And yeah, that's basically how we do qualifying. Now to the race. Here we are, just finishing the Monaco Grand Prix. 1-2 as expected. But we did end up lapping the entire field. Piastri ended up falling behind during this lappity lapping. Both the Astons 3-lapped. That's a bit embarrassing. So hopefully the Astons get some upgrades soon. And in general, it was just a good race from us. Drivers' Championship, Doohan is asserting dominance. Doing really well. Hamilton 3rd. Leclerc 4th now after 3rd place in Monaco. And in general, not really too many things have changed. Alfa Romeo climbs over Alpine, but this is now a 2-pointer for 4 positions, so that's going to get interesting. Not really a lot of development going on in Monaco, simply because very few overtaking opportunities. Boucher did get a point though, because we remembered his existence. And that is good. Now, again, making decent money from incentives, which is really important to us right now. And we're going to put a point into control. Let's see. We probably had something we wanted to do, but I can't remember what. It should be okay if I can't remember. It was not here. I wanted to see if there's any new drivers coming up. Maybe? Maybe not. I had a hope. That hope was ruined. Batman has been picked up though by Red Bull, so he should develop pretty quick. Grand Prix manufacturing complete. Let's go to a warehouse, because I have a feeling it has something to do with a warehouse. Yes, we need a chassis. Let's just get that manufactured. And what else do we need? Research on the suspension has been completed. Very good. Let's get another research goal going. Side pods, I guess. Again, we just maximize everything while keeping cooling at a minimum. And it's mainly just for next season's boost, so these stats don't really matter. What we care about is the research benefit, which is pretty good, honestly. So let's go ahead and develop. Put in 5 engineers. And I'm really looking forward to see just how much research we can do, because I think we will be doing, if not maximum, really close to maximum amount of research possible. Board confidence report, good. I'd expect so. We're wanting everything but cooling, as expected. And the weather center has been refurbished, which is also pretty good. Tire pods have been manufactured. Let's now just check our warehouse for safety's sake. Chassis, we have the project going. We're good there. Front wings, 6, good. Rear wings, we can install them. And as you can see, these rear wings are a major upgrade in virtually every field. So we're going to be even more dominant. We are making the last 3, so it should be good there too. Side pods, 4 out of 4. Underfloor, 4 out of 4. Suspension, 4 out of 4. We are good on manufacturing. And with that, Doohan has actually gained a point. So we'll level him up to 78. Very good. 88 now across the board for pace. He's getting there very, very quickly. Good to see. We have a bunch now of manufacturing projects that are going to end back to back to back. So next we're going to Baku, Doohan's performance. I know we already invested that point. Thank you very much. Chassis completed. Very good. And I'll be going right to Baku. Now, I did show the Monaco qualification, mostly because Monaco is special, especially seeing that you can easily have your laps ruined by getting stuck. But I will not be showing the rest of the qualifications for the races. It just takes too much time, honestly. If we added a 4-minute qualification for every race, it would, you know, amount to an hour and a half over the course of the season. So we'll keep with these condensed episodes. If you have any requests, feel free to add them in comments. If I feel like they're doable, I'll do them. Might just make a tutorial on the side, but feel free to come with requests, come with questions. I welcome them. I enjoy answering them, so yeah. No worries there, don't be shy. We're going to go with 2 drivers in Q3, 2 drivers 1-2, and that should be perfectly doable. Finish position, 1 driver in top 2. That's also perfectly doable. And with that, we'll be off to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We have just finished the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As you can see, another 1-2. Doohan with fastest lap. Piastri with pole position. Maximum points, very good for us. Red Bull third with Verstappen. And then we have the 2 Mercedeses, the Ferraris. Paris having a bad race, and McLaren looking better, all things considered. Doohan now has a fairly sizable advantage in the championship. No surprise there. We have a massive lead, but again, the battle for third is, well, second and third. It's going to be interesting. McLaren makes a big leap here forwards on the battle for fifth. And in general, things looking good. Now, if you remember earlier, we had a message about Piastri having low morale. And from what I've seen in the recent races, he hasn't actually been performing quite a bit worse than Doohan. So I'm assuming the mental stat is actually morale. So the morale of your drivers might actually be a stat that impacts racing quite a bit. But I'll have to see. I think Piastri's morale should have recovered by now. So we'll have to see in the coming races if he has recovered or not. In terms of money, we did very well. We got the qualifying position streak done, which gives us 2.2 million. And in total, we get about almost 3 million extra here from performance incentives, which is great. Very good for us. And with that, we now have 38 million saved up. So we should probably consider starting to use some of this money. Now, we're actually going to upgrade the factory here. I know that earlier I said that we wouldn't need to, but we've had several cases now where we've actually not been able to do what we wanted to because we've been lacking manufacturing slots. So we're going to upgrade the factory to level 3. We might start making some work here on the suspension and car part test center. But for now, first, we're going to have a quick look here. Scouting department will be done in 7 days. And in terms of operations, we are actually good, except for the helipad needs refurbishing. So honestly, yeah, we'll start upgrading the suspension sim and the car part test center just to see what the final upgrades look like. And again, if we can potentially break through the cost cap here. Again, if we develop the car aggressively, we can. But I just want to see how high we can rack the facilities cost. Let's have a quick look here. Pourchaire has some points to spend. We'll do so. And again, we'll balance it out for him too. He makes it to 77. Very good. And let's see here. Happy with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? I'd hope so. Now we have the next Grand Prix in 4 days. We will not be making any changes before then, by the looks of things. So yeah, let's get going. Piastri has a point, but in accuracy, he is currently feeling okay. Let's have a quick look at Doohan. How is his... He has high morale. So as you could expect, your morale then might just be a hidden mental stat, which actually would make sense. Like if you have good morale, it's going to reflect on you. So this is also a good pace. Facility bonuses, as you can see the benefits they gain. Morale, mainly. But I don't know. We'll have to see here. I do like the statistics page too. He's been growing a lot. Let's just leave it at that. Now, let's get to the next weekend here in Canada. And things should be good. Let's see here. Q2 for both drivers should be no problem. Both drivers in top 2. We're actually in a guaranteed point there. I should have started with that earlier, but just me being overly careful, I guess. All our projects are good. I believe I checked this last time, but I'm just double checking for my own sanity. All our warehouse looking good. Yep, let's get to the Grand Prix. Canadian Grand Prix just finished, and as you can see, we had another one too. Doohan had his second pit stop under the safety car. He had a good 30 seconds to Piastri. Safety car appeared as a result of Schumacher here bumping into Verstappen. It was a pretty gnarly hit, but we basically had a 20 laps soft race, and then not soft race, dry race, and then the rest of it was in the wets. So it was an interesting race. There was a lot of collisions. Leclerc here had a moment with, I believe, one of the Astons. I'm actually a bit unsure. Perez had a pretty bad race, but as you can see, Hamilton, Gasly, Sainz, Norris, Stroll, Ricciardo, Russell, Vettel. Russell had a bad one, Vettel had a good one. So there was a lot of people benefiting, especially Gasly. And McLaren also, again, having a pretty good race here. Stroll keeping AlphaTauri in the fight as well. Good for them. Doohan, again, doing really well. Piastri is struggling a bit. But Piastri gets the extra point for fastest lap. Doohan for pole position. In terms of constructors, it's starting to become a little bit more transparent here on the points, but Red Bull has had a pretty lackluster start. Verstappen had a bunch of things that have put him out of contention, so I kind of expect them to come back later. But Mercedes is looking really strong this season in terms of race pace, so that'll be interesting too. These 4 teams are still scrapping, but Alpine is slightly being left behind right now, mostly due to Alfa Romeo scoring 12 points this race. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that. And with that, let's keep going. Piastri and Doohan, decent amount of points here for both. Porsche got forgotten again, sadly. Extra 700,000 from performance incentives is good to see. With that, we'll get going. Helipad has been refurbished, good for our money. Guiding department has been upgraded, which should now allow us to see what Tier 4 gives us. Tier 5, sorry. But we are going to be upgrading Doohan's cornering. And we'll go facilities and see what scouting department does. So again, it just increases your scout capacity. I think keeping this as 2 is probably okay. It's just an extra money drain and refurbish drain, I guess. In terms of everything here, we could refurbish the memorabilia room, and we will. Could also upgrade the weather center, but I think 90% should do the job. And we don't really get any extra benefits. Again, car development here. We're doing everything we can. Nothing to spend our money on. And with that, we'll be going here. Refurbishment complete. We've already fixed the memorabilia room. Scouting department completed too. Very good. And again, no real worries here. Now, I don't know if there's a button somewhere I need to press to find new drivers, but currently we don't really have any. So it's a bit of a shame that we haven't seen any new drivers, but I guess it's on a regen system, which is kind of annoying because that means we'll get predictable what kind of drivers is coming through. But we'll have to have a look. ATR period has ended. We're gaining a new ATR period right now. Full center has been deteriorated. We're going to go ahead and refurbish that right away. And what research have we completed? The front wing research. Good. And then go ahead and research a new part. We're gonna, I think, research a chassis. We haven't actually done that yet. So let's go ahead and put some research into the chassis. Good 2% to expertise. Again, getting a little on cooling, 2% on airflow. So it's not a huge boost, but it's a boost and it's a quick research. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. Takes a month. And again, we just keep things balanced to make life easier. Boardroom upgraded. Let's see what the final upgrade is then, I believe. And as you can see, it's just more race confidence gain, which honestly, in our current state, that's not really worth it to us. So we'll just keep the boardroom as is. We have a race engineer's contract here that ends soon. So we could scout for a replacement. But Bonington has actually gone to Ferrari. Do we want to try and kidnap him then? Let's have a look at his current contract. Mosconi is also potential here. Let's have a look. Again, race engineers. The thing that I really care about, Lambias has actually gone to Mercedes. Adami has gone to Mercedes too. So there's some interesting things happening. Hubert has gone to Red Bull. I think he hasn't gone to Red Bull. He's always been a Red Bull. So Ferrari has snatched Bonington and traded him for Adami. And Mercedes had kidnapped... I don't remember who all the race engineers are, but I know that for Red Bull it's Bird and Lambias, Bonington and Mosconi, I think. And then we have Adami and Xavier here for Ferrari, I think. I think we might just keep our race engineers. We'll have to see though. But if we can get 2 good race engineers, we might as well at this point. It'll just make our life easier. But yeah, I'm a bit perplexed, honestly. You might also just go for Enrico here to just maximize everything. But again, I think we are fine for now. It should be okay. Yeah, we'll consider it as we go. Irvin has been upgraded. And we are now at the next Grand Prix. Let's set up our performance targets. Team Hub in poor condition. Let's refurbish that. It's costly. But again, it's should be okay. I assume refurbishment doesn't go under the cost cap, does it? No, it does not. So, I guess refurbishment is actually a good mechanic to try and keep money out of the economy, if you will. You won't have 3 billion after a couple of seasons. Qualifying position, both drivers in top 2. Both drivers in Q2 shouldn't be a problem. 1 driver on the top 2, again, should also be doable. And if we're lucky here, we'll be able to get our finish position streak done, which will give us a decent amount of money. With that, let's get going to the British Grand Prix. Just finished the British Grand Prix, and we had another one too. Pretty good, all things considered, but Stroll here had a monster of a race, Albon too. Mainly due to the fact that it turned into a wet weather race, which caused some problems for Verstappen among others. Bottas had also a pretty bad showing, but in general, things kind of went as expected. AlphaTauri though, it looks like they have a fairly strong car. Might actually come in as the 5th best with how they're doing. And we also have Doohan here doing really, really well. So the mental blow to Piastri has apparently been a bit too strong. He just can't keep up speed with Doohan, which is actually a bit surprising. So it could seem that your morale of your drivers have a significant impact on how well they do. So that might be something to keep in mind. Once again, push air has been forgotten, but that's on me. So decent amount of performance bonuses here, making about 2.4 million extra, which is very good. With that, we shall now continue. So we're going to have some refurbishment, and then we have the Austrian Grand Prix. Things are going really, really quick here. Monthly car development report. Still first in everything except cooling, as expected. But I think the other teams are catching up, because we've seen that they've become a little bit closer. But we can go ahead here into the analysis and have a look. Ferrari, still lacking a lot in top speed. But that's also due to us having gotten a new rear wing. Red Bull has the top speed, but I believe it's lacking a little bit in turning. And again, Verstappen had a bunch of bad races this season. And Mercedes doesn't really have the top speed of Red Bull, but they have been doing a lot better. So cornering might just be a bit more value than I thought. I was focusing on the DRS trains mainly because that was early on the way that we overtook, but it seems that your cornering might actually be way more valuable, and I have underestimated it a bit, and as a result I'd like to just do a quick sorry about that if that's the case. But yeah, we have been doing okay. Let's get accuracy up. We should actually have been control, but we did accuracy, just how things are sometimes. And with that, let's continue. So as you can see, Piastri is still struggling a bit with his morale. It's only okay. Doohan has high morale. Porsche has okay. Again, it's kind of awkward to know what is, causing this. Currently, our team is virtually winning everything. Get a point on the floor for technical chief. Honestly, low speed downforce is probably the thing here. Get a little bit of cornering. I think we'll balance these four. I think that is the that's the trick. Race engineer, no point for you, and you have one. Very good. So, as I was saying here, morale seems to be a bit of a wild card, and it seems like the only way to really improve it is for the racer to win. So, not really too much we can do there. We'll have the Austrian Grand Prix here. Almost forgot to set up performance incentives, so we'll do them quickly. My bad. Q3 qualifying should be a problem. 2 drivers in Q3, 2 drivers for qualifying. And we'll of course go for finish position, 1 driver in the top 2. Just play it safe. And we'll do finish position streak, 1 driver, top 2. 5 races should be okay. In all honesty, in terms of this one, we could probably just do both drivers. And for the most part, it will pay off, so we'll just do that. But now that I've said that, Piastri is probably going to crash out here. But let's get the Austrian Grand Prix underway, and we'll see how it goes. Since the Austrian Grand Prix is the last one we'll be doing part of this episode, I would just like to say thank you to everyone who's been watching, and thank you to everyone who has been subscribing and liking these videos. They blew up a lot more than I expected, but I do enjoy making them a lot, and it's been a lot of fun. So again, thank you very much, and I'd also take this opportunity to remind you to like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be doing a lot more F1 Manager. It's a lot more fun. It's been a while since I've really enjoyed a game, so to speak, so I'll be continuing doing a lot more F1 Manager, and if you like this, please again like and subscribe. It helps a ton. And again, thank you very much to everyone who's already done it. Thank you to everyone for watching. Bye bye.